everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I put together this carrot Easter swag. It was quite a bit of work to put it together, but I want to show you how I did it. So if you want to join me, let's get to crafting. Alright, so I'm going to begin by building some sprigs or some little branches with these flowers and this greenery. You can get your florals and your greenery from wherever you like. They have some nice choices at the Dollar Tree, Walmart, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, stores like that. You can even buy them online if that's what you prefer. Alright, so I've got these sunflowers and I've got these roses. Now these were from a fall collection, but I thought these will go well with what I want to put together. So that's what I've chosen. And then of course here I've got some greenery here that I had also collected. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut up these flowers, remove them off the bush because they are in a bush, and I do like to buy bushes because I feel like they're much more economical. You can see here these are from the Dollar Tree. I got the Dollar Tree tag, the fall tag. Alright, so I would have liked to have used some yellow sunflowers, but I don't have any and I don't want to go out and buy any, so I'm going to use what I have. So I'm going to use these beautiful green colored sunflowers. Now you may have noticed that I do have another bush over here, but I don't know if I'm going to use that yet, so I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to go ahead and cut off these roses. This was from, I believe, Walmart. I do believe that is a Walmart tag. Alright, so now I have some flowers cut out, and I want to go ahead and cut some of this greenery as well. This greenery was from a local flower store. I believe this was from my local flower craft store as well. Now from this bush, I am not going to cut as much. I think I'm going to cut it as I need. So I'm going to put it aside and just start working with these items instead. Alright, so we're going to grab a greenery stem. Now this has these two small ones down here that are going to get hidden away, so I'm going to go ahead and cut them off. I've also got some floral wire, and I've got some floral tape here. This floral wire, I don't recall what gauge it is. It might be a 24. Yeah, actually, well, yeah, it does say right here, 24 gauge. So you can use a 22 or 24. You can buy them in stems if you want to do that. That would work out just fine. A 22 is a good gauge to buy this wire because it will keep things a little bit stiffer. This is very thin, so you know things will be a little bit wobbly, but because I'm making a swag that's going to hang down, I don't mind it. But if you want to make a swag or a half, you know, like a wreath that goes across, then you're going to need a thicker wire so that everything stays in its place. Alright, I'm just going here and trimming off any little bits that are on the edges here just so I can have a smoother stem, and that way I can wrap it up, you know, a little bit easier with my floral tape. So I'm going to grab a rose here, and I do like the greenery that it has. I like the combination of greeneries, so I'm going to use that. Okay, so I'm going to start with a rose and a piece of greenery here, and I'm going to bend the flower like that because I want the flower facing up as it's hanging on the wall or door. And I'm going to take my greenery and I'm going to place it so it's, you know, it hangs further down from the flower, just longer. And then I can take some, I don't need any wire at this point, I can just take some floral tape and wrap around. Now as you're wrapping your floral tape, you want to pull on it a little bit, and that gets the stickiness in the tape. Otherwise you're just taping it and it can come undone. Or you're just wrapping it around and it'll come undone. So I'm just going to wrap all the way that I know both of them are wrapped together. And I can work my way back up, but I just decided to stop right here. And all I did was just rip on the tape, press it down, press it all down, make sure that it's, you know, sticking. And so we have a little sprig right here. So I'm going to go ahead and make another one. Again, by removing the very bottom greenery. I don't feel like I need that. I could use these little pieces later and put them in there, but for now, they're going to come off. I'm going to take another rose. And I have 4 of these roses, so I'm going to create 4 of those sprigs for now. Okay, so I'll be back once I've got all 4 done. All right, so I'm back and I've got my sprigs done with my roses. I said I was going to do 4 of them, but then I take a good look at this rose and it doesn't look very good. It might be missing something from the middle. I don't know. These are tighter, nicer, and this is just too loose, so I'm not going to use that. And you know what? I like doing things in odd numbers, so 3, 5, 7, and so on. So this works out perfect for me. All right, so, and again, I do have another bush. I can always go grab another if I feel like I want to make my swag even bigger, but we'll see where we're going with this for now. All right, so I got one of these bushes cut up from these little sunflowers, so there happens to be 6. So I'm going to attach 2 on each of these, okay? I'm going to do that. But before I do, I want to add some leaves to these. So let's put these roses aside, and I have some leftovers of this one. I'm going to put it aside because I'm going to grab this. And let's see, what can I use on here? They don't all have to be exactly the same. They can be a little bit different. So I kind of like this sprig here that has these little berries right here and this green that's right next to it. So these, I'm just going to yank and pull them out just like that. And don't worry the tape becomes undone because you're going to tape these. This was a little bit harder to pull out, so you know what? I'm just going to cut it right at the bottom, at the lowest point. So I'm going to choose this. I'm going to grab one of my sunflowers for now. I'm going to push up the greenery, whatever's on there. If I don't like it, I can take it off, but I like it. All right, so then I'm going to place my bits of greenery, my little berries, where I think I like them. It's almost like I'm making a small little corsage. All right, since I like them there, I'm going to go ahead and tape down the first little stem. This one has a longer piece of wire, so I'm twirling and pulling on the tape as I go and pressing with my fingers as I roll it around. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm looking for the berries and they were here all along. I ended up taping them along with this one, so that's okay. It's taped on, but because it had a shorter little stem, I want to make sure that it's on there very, very well. So I'm going to add more tape around that base there where I first get started. Make sure I get that little berries taped on there good because it is a short little bit. Okay, so I'm going to fold the sunflower again. I want it facing where it's going to be hanging like that. This is the wall and it's going to be hanging like that. So we want to make sure that our sunflowers are facing up, not down. So you want to bend them so they're doing that, okay? So I have another little piece here. I'm going to take this one leaf off of it just so I can have more of a stem to tape down and the leaf won't be in my way. Again, I'm going to start at the very, very top base and work my way down until I've got that whole little stem taped up. Okay, so I'm going to take another 2 sunflowers, and from that same bush where I removed these, I'm going to remove another, a few little leaves or berries or whatever, and I'm going to make 3 of this, just like this one, okay? So let's do that. 3 more, and then we'll work with the other 3 in a moment. So I'll be back once these are done. All right, I'm doing the last one, and I want to make sure I also tell you that when you get started on a project like this, make sure you have plenty of floral tape. You might end up using a whole roll. It all depends on how many bits you're going to be putting together. How many of these little, stem bits are you going to wrap? And of course, I'm doing them individually before I put another one, but there's nothing wrong with grabbing 2 of them at a time. The only thing you want to make sure is that their little stems are basically the same length, because if one of them has a very short length, you're going to have to wrap it again to make sure that little short one is wrapped on good so it doesn't pull out easily, because it's super easy to pull them out. This tape is only going to hold so much. So sometimes maybe even you can go in with your glue gun and add a little bit of glue and put down, like your little super short stem. Let's say it just ends right there, and glue that down and then go ahead and tape over it, okay? So if you want to do that, that is perfectly fine. I'm going to worry about placing them after I've taped them down, because all this twirling around kind of moves them around, so worry about that afterwards. So we're going to wrap them, and we're overlapping the tape on itself, okay? Because that's what's making it stick. It's making it stick to itself. So you want to overlap it. And right here I have a little too long of a length of wire, so I'm going to cut that off. And then if you want to work your way up and wrap it again, even tighter, you can do that, okay? And it's okay if it gets all twisted. You want your tape, just go over it with a part that's not twisted. Don't waste your time trying to untwist it. You'll make a mess. So there I go, just like that. All right, so I'm going to just kind of fix these little leaves so that they're facing the direction that I want them to. And now once I have them, you know, I'll put together with my swag, I can fix them up a little bit again. Okay, so I had a little bit left over that I didn't use. I've got these three. I've got my initial stems with my bushes. I'm just calling them little sprigs. Okay, they're small little branches that I'm creating. So I've got my other sunflowers, and I decided that I'm going to add them to the sprig with the roses. So right next to them, I'm going to go a little bit lower, and again, make sure you fold them forward. All right, take them down, and I'll do that with all of them. They don't necessarily all have to be in the exact same position. Maybe if you move them around, you know, put a sunflower on the next one. Let's just fold this over, push the leaf up so that we have all this stem that we can tape down. Maybe this time I want to put the sunflower, you know, off to the other side and maybe a little bit higher position. It all depends. If you have enough stem here, then you can get it all taped down. But like I said, if you have to, add a little bit of glue in there, a little hot glue. Careful not to burn yourselves. Get your tape ready really quick because that glue will dry a little too quick. So let's kind of wrap it up with the glue in there. And that holds that stem in there really nice. All right. See that? All right, so one more sunflower. I'll just put it below like I did the other one. All right, so I've got 6 sprigs done here. Rose and sunflowers, and then just sunflowers with some different leaves on there. All right, and some berries. Okay, we'll put those off to the side. Now I want to incorporate some carrots. So I've got these packages that I purchased them at Big Lots. I think our Big Lots is finally closed. I drove around by there yesterday. There was nobody in the parking lot, so I'm thinking it is completely closed. But you can find little carrots, like I said, any craft store that has some seasonal items. Even Walmart will have some. Go to the Dollar Tree. They do have a packet. They're going to be a little bit smaller than these, but they will still work. You can even get some bigger than this. Use whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to use 3 at a time, and I think I want them kind of closer together like this, kind of tied like that. Yeah, I like that. The idea of them being like that. So I'm just going to take some floral wire, and I'm going to cut, let's see, I think I'm going to cut about 20 or 24 inches, all right? Yeah, that'll do, about 24 inches. So I'm going to grab them and wrap them around at the base. You know what, I'm going to wrap it around the base. Slide the wire a little bit, wrap it around a couple of times on the base, grab the next one, wrap it around, and then the next one, just making sure you got your little greenery going the same direction and the same base area there. There we go, just like that. And then I can maneuver them so they're not so, here, let's slide these upward a little bit, or actually this one up a little bit. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing right now, guys. I am sort of inventing this as I go along because I haven't worked with these little carrots before, and I'm trying to decide where I think they look the best. I kind of like this one up a little bit, so okay. We're just gonna wrap them like that. They're not like super tight into each other, so wrapping them individually works because then I can place them in the location that I want. Okay, so now I'm just twisting these 2 ends of the wire together, making one long piece because that I can use to then attach to the stems of a sprig that I've created, like these for example. I can then tie it like that. See, I've got my little carrots and they're hanging downward. This is all going to hang downward like that. So then you can place these however you want. I mean, you can slide them in like that and then wrap it together. I liked how it looked off to the side here a little bit and just a little bit taller. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this whole piece of wire that I have left over and I'm going to wrap this around the stem of my little sprig. Whatever wire's left over, if it's too long, just wrap it back down. And then I can wrap all of this with some floral tape so we can hide all of that. Everything's going to look really nice. The same green stems everywhere. That's why we're using our floral tape. Okay? I don't want to see the wire on here, okay? So what I'm going to do, these little bits that I cut off of those stems that I first used on the roses, I'm going to cut off the leaf off of them. That's going to work perfect. All right, so you can just get any little leaf that you have or some berries, maybe a tiny little ribbon, make a tiny little, tied up bow if you want to put that in there. Whatever you want to put in there. A little acorn if you're doing a fall thing, or a little strawberry for your summer wreath if that's what you want. Cover that up. Looks nice, doesn't it? All right, so I'm going to tie 3 more for the stems, the little sprigs that I did with sunflowers, and then I'm going to do another 3 from my box here. I'll have 3 left over, so I may put 1, 1, and 1. So I'll come back when I get to that. Let me continue creating these sunflower sprigs with my little 3 carrots. What I'm doing with this one, again, I'm getting some long piece of wire. I'm cutting about 20 inches. So I'm putting it, anywhere on my sprig here, and that'll be good. All right, there we go. Here's our first 3, or our other 3, and here's these. And we're going to start placing them where we want them. We're going to start building the design. So I'm going to move some things off my counter here, or my table. Okay, so I do want one of these to be hanging at the bottom of my swag when this comes down. I want this at the end, but let me see which one looks like it's hanging. Oh, this one's got a bit longer piece of greenery. I'm going to do that one. It doesn't really matter, but that's what I'm choosing to do. And then you can just start kind of planning. Okay, I want that one there. I want this one here. Just doing the opposite here. Maybe that one on that side, and then we'll finish it off with another one of these. That's kind of big. Look at that. Now, obviously these stems are not long enough to reach each other and tape them together, so we're going to have to get some more wire, and that's why I was saying I like the little sticks, and try using a 22 gauge or maybe even a 20 gauge, because that'll be a stiffer wire than this 24 gauge. This is great for wrapping, but to build a stem, you might want those 12-inch pieces of already cut wire, or sometimes they come on a roll and you can unroll it. But if you get the little sticks, those are easy to work with. Okay, I don't have any, so I'm not going to be working with that. You could use a chenille stem, but chenille stems are so tough to wrap with floral wire. It's just an ordeal. Okay, I'm just going to open these up because I need to see what my elements are. Separate it like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pieces of greenery, because they do have some long pieces here. I could take some stems of flowers that maybe I cut off, because they were too long. Like this one's not very nice, so I can take this stem and I can use this as one of those wire pieces. Okay, so let's grab some of these long ones here. Oops, over here. All right, so what we want to do to lengthen this, so it has a nice long piece of wire here, for example, I'm going to take one of these stems and I'm going to take off some of these leaves, okay? So I have a nice long stem where I can lengthen this one. Okay, now let's see where it's going to meet up at. It's going to meet up right about under this one, so I need to take this leaf off as well. I want all that length, okay? So I'm just going to bend it a little bit and then bend it back down so it rests on top of this here. Put that right there. Let's tape that guy. All right, pulling on the tape, wrapping and pressing with my fingers. And if you got any little bits that are sticking out, trim them off. I had one a little bit higher, which I noticed after I wrapped it, so I don't want to go unwrapping and cutting right now, so I'll just letting you know. You get those little pieces, cut them off. Okay, I'm going to stop short of the length of this. All right, so now I've got a nice long stem, but I want to add some greenery here because I don't want this to be bald, and I don't want to put my next stem like super close. I want it a little bit high, so I need some greenery right here. So that's when I'm going to take the other bush that I had, and it's got some pieces that I can just cut off. So I'm going to take off these shorter ones. I can use them up higher, and I'm going to tape this one now. Look at that. Make sure that when you put some greenery, it's not covering a flower. You know, kind of tuck it underneath. Build some bulk right there. I think this one is also going to be cut off. So let's fill that in right here with that. And I'll probably get something else to help fill it up a little bit more. It's not going to be a super long swag, so we'll just do with what we can. Might not look as long as what I initially put down. I might end up making it shorter because, you know, then I have to add a whole bunch of things to this. Now I'm getting this where I think I'm going to be able to grab it well enough for this, and I don't need this extra stem, so I'm going to cut that off. I could use that piece of stem actually to lengthen something else. I'm going to put this right here again, and then I'll push the leaves, behind the flowers, so I'm not covering it. And again, I'll fix all of this stuff so it's not covering the flowers. We'll fix all that up, but first we want to tape it. All right, let's tape down. And we're going to just kind of do this as we go. We're going to be adding our other sprigs to this as we go along and adding length to them as needed, filling it with greenery as needed, rather than trying to add so much length to all of them and then I end up, oh, I didn't need that much length. Okay? So we're just going to put this so we can see what we have here. And I feel like I want more greenery here. So now I'm going to take more of these bits that I cut off. I think this other stem would be nice. Yeah, that'll be good. I'll use that one. I don't want to use yet too much because I have more to fill upward. So let's see. Oops, got the tape stuck to my arm here. The other thing you might want to do is you might want to cut some pieces of floral tape. You have nice enough space here. I don't. If you have enough space, cut up some more little pieces of tape, set them off to the side. You can just be grabbing them as you go. Okay, and if you know that you're going to use a long piece, cut a long piece. You're going to get short pieces, cut short pieces. But don't cut too many because if you don't end up using them, then you're just wasting. Okay, so just cut as you need. All right, this is nice. I'm going to roll back downward. Make sure I'm grabbing that piece because it didn't have a very long stem to it. Look, I have a little piece of tape left over. I'm going to go ahead and put it on there because that won't work anywhere else. It just tore on me, you know, because of all the pulling. Okay, so that can happen. You can put it back on there again. Just make sure you pull on it, stick it down, press it down, so that glue that gets, you know, when you pull on it, it releases the sticky part of the glue on it. So that's what makes it stick. Okay. All right. And I wanted to go with one of these at the next. And if I put this here, see what I'm doing is I'm looking to see, look, I'm going to have a bald spot. If I put this right here, if I attach it to this stem here, I'm going to have a little bald spot right here, and I don't want that. So let's get some greenery. So we'll get some of these. I think I had some already cut out. Well, Let me save the longer, what might be longer pieces for something else. Okay, let's get some of this. And I think I can make 2 stems out of this. This is a long one too, but I already used one of these. We can put 2 of these together, see, like that. Use the same stem that I've already has to kind of wrap around the other one to kind of hold it. And then add this in there. We're creating another a little sprig. See, this is what we're doing. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it around with tape really, really well because there's short stems on here. There's a piece of plastic that's sticking out that's bothering me. We're gonna cut that off so it doesn't impede me from taping this up. Rolling, 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 just like that. And just to make it feel fuller, I'm gonna grab one of these, the base here. Again, it's a short little stem. I could put some hot glue in there and glue it down so it has that extra anchor so it stays down and doesn't get pulled out easily. So do that. I skipped that. Do that. Okay, let's cut that off. Okay, I wanted this right here, and I need more greenery right here. So I'm going to put this here now, tape that down. See how I have this length here that I've built? But like I said, we're going to build as we go. Obviously, that length is not enough for the whole swag. But we're going to build it as we go. And this makes it so that you can just, you know, stop wherever you want. If you feel like, you know what, I like a small little swag. I don't need so much, so I'll just stop right here. That's all I want. Maybe just one more. Maybe I just want a small little swag like that. Just a tiny little thing. You stop right there. Use the other 3 for something else, right? Okay, or make another one just like it. But I want to use them all. I want to try and use them all at least. All right, so now because I still have a length of stem here, I can tape this one here. But I want to build the length some more. So before I go on, let me go ahead and stick that on there. So I'll grab this stem, and you know what? We're going to grab some wire, a nice long piece of this wire. This will help us attach. And you know what I'm going to do even? I'm going to add some glue in there. All right, so we're going to get some wire. Wrap that around real good, right there where it first starts, okay? Always want to make sure you wrap it around really well. And then that little end that I first started with, lay it flat, and then continue. See, like that. The stems are now together, so I've got a piece of wire left over I can roll back upward. And remember, leave the ends a little length, about 1 inch, and then just lay that flat on there. And then we'll wrap it up with wire. Oh, sorry, I meant to say we'll wrap it up with some floral tape. All right, that's on there. So now I can put this one on here because I know that I'll have plenty of stems sticking out, so it doesn't make it so hard on me trying to get the next piece on there. And I want to move it down a little bit. There we go. See, I don't have a bald spot here. I've got greenery here. Gorgeous. Okay. Tape it down. If you want to use some wire, put a little bit of glue in there as well. Do that. It's getting to the point where it's going to be bulky to be twisting this around. Your thumbs and tip of your fingers might hurt from, you know, rubbing up against this little tape. You can take a little break. Have a little ice bucket next to you. Your ice water. You know, put your fingers in there, or a cold sponge. Put your fingers in there and cool them off. Move your fingers around like that. So anyway, here we go. Let's flatten this back up down the way that I want it. Gorgeous. You know what? Do I want something kind of sticking up further down here? Wow, we'll worry about it later. I'm going to continue. I feel like I want some length, something to give it like a little, just a little twig. But you know what? I had so many pieces like this. Maybe I'll use this one or something else. We'll see. Let me, oh, you know what? Yes, look, I've got these little twigs here. Wow, okay, let's do that. Just because, you know, I'm thinking about it now. Let me turn it upside down so I can see what I'm doing. I want something, I should have thought about that at first. It's just something that occurs to me, you know. Okay, this one looks like it should be curled maybe. We'll curl it, why not, right? Because this one looked like it was curled before and it just kind of got pulled. So look at this one actually. Okay. All right, I'm gonna cut a little bit because I'm not gonna be able to take that whole length because I'd have to be digging through leaves and stuff. But I'm gonna show you how we can handle that situation. You're gonna turn it, you know, upside down. You're gonna place it against the stem. You turn it around and see if that's what you intend. I like that. Okay, that's a good enough length. So that's where I like it. I'm gonna put some glue, but because, oh my goodness, I have a very short extension here. I'm gonna bring this over this way. Because I don't wanna burn my fingers. I'm gonna let that glue dry first. And then I'm gonna come back, get a little piece of wire it down, and then a piece of floral tape. So let's allow that to rest and dry. Okay, I'm gonna pretend that it's completely dry. Not quite yet. I was blowing on it and trying to get it to dry fast. You can get your little blow dryer or a little fan. But I'm just gonna reach under here with a piece of wire, pushing leaves out of the way, bring it around, tie it down, and then I'm gonna twist the ends of the wire together and then bring up against each other, flatten them up along the stem here. Cut if you need to, and I'm gonna cut a little bit at the end there. And then I'm gonna take a little piece of floral tape. I can't do too much because it's a tight little spot. So you might have to do several little pieces, but I think this one is enough. And bring it around and then pull on it. And now I've got this little, I don't know, I just wanted a little bit of length, a little something kind of sticking out at the bottom here. See? I mean, it's nothing really. It's just a little touch and it just adds sort of a mock length to it. I mean, it is a length that it's adding to it, but it just, you know, brings your eye down a little bit more this way. Okay, so I have that on here. I'm gonna fan these out a little bit. I don't want them too bunched up together. Now, you can add more greenery if you like it really, really compact and, you know, push into each other. I don't know which piece I wanted to use next. Oh, I think I want to save this one for last. I need one of these. This and this. Okay, let's push these over to the side over here so I don't get mixed up with what I'm doing. Okay, I want to put this one here, and I want this rose to kind of be in the center of these two sunflowers. And I do have two sunflowers there. It's no big deal. Okay, so before I put it on, I'm going to curve it like that, okay? So I can get it on here, and the stems are meeting right here. Now, I don't feel like I need any greenery because I did put these little pieces there. I'm just going to put this down a little bit lower. I don't want it at the same level as this. I want it a little bit higher. Okay, so I can go ahead and now wrap these two together. Then my next one would be another one of these, which is similar to this one here. I want to put that kind of in the middle here, but I want to put some greenery right here. So let's grab some greenery. Let me get these two guys out of the way over there. Do I have any more of that? Yes, I do. I have more of this. Okay. So I want to get a piece of this one, put it in here, so that it's not all like flowers and carrots. I want to see some greenery. Okay. That's a nice piece. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's just a little, looking like a little pod that's about to grow a flower. Okay, or another leaf. Okay, I'm going to put this right here. I don't want to cover those flowers. I want them to be next to it, so make sure you place it where it's not going to cover some. I don't want to put any more because you know what, you guys? I'm getting to the point where this is going to get so long because I still have another two pieces. I have all these three pieces that I want to add. And if I do them too separate and put too much greenery, this is going to be a super long swag. I don't want that, okay? Let me bring this camera back a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So you can see how nice it is already. And just imagine a bow right here. This is a beautiful length already. And I can do another swag with those, but I want to incorporate them all because, you know, I'm just thinking the more the merrier, right? This was my next one. I want these carrots to hang over this way. And you know what, guys? I'm almost going to end my length here. So I want to have enough length to be able to add these two guys in there. So I'm going to add some length. I may end up cutting it off. But you know what? You just add some length, okay? I'm going to use this little stem piece here. All right, we'll continue. And I put the new stem on there. I did also add a little bit of hot glue on there. So a little hot glue, wire, tape. I want to make sure this doesn't go falling apart on us, you know? I think, yeah, this was the one I wanted to use next. It's got a nice piece of greenery right here, so I'm going to fold this greenery like that so it's not laying on top of this one and squishing it down. Plus, it's adding some green over here that this is, you know, fanning out over here. So you have some greenery fanning out this way, and I don't over here. So this one will help to add that. All right, so here we go. Let's move our little carrots off to the side here. That's why that nice piece of wire was good. A little flexibility there. Got some tapes here. You know what I'm going to do again? I'm going to add a little bit of glue in there. There we go. And to help it hold while it's drying, a little bit of wire. Okay, there we go. Take that on there. It looks fantastic. I got three carrots, 1 carrot, 3 carrots, 1 carrot. You know, that's what I'm doing. Start off with 1, 3, 1, 3, and then we'll do 1, and then our last one, which has 3, and then we'll add a beautiful bow up on the top. All right, so I still have enough length here of stem, so I'm going to go ahead and add this other one. Fold it again. That makes it fan out that way. Of course, when fanning it, and you end up with a shorter length of stem. So that's why you want to go ahead, add a little bit of glue, a little wire. I'm going to get my wire ready. I'm going to get my piece of tape ready. Probably need a couple, so I'll cut 2, just in case. Cut 2. And how's it looking as far as greenery? I think it's looking good because I do have this fluffy piece of greenery here. See, this beautiful greenery and then some of this fluffy greenery here. I've got this fluffy greenery here, so when I put this next one here, it's got these little berries. And that's good because that'll kind of match up with this greenery over here. See what I'm doing? Now, if you make them all exactly the same, then you don't have to be worrying about what I'm doing. Like, oh, what should I put next? You'll just grab and grab and grab. Okay. All right, so I took a little break so I could think about what I want to do next because I'm thinking, okay, this is my last piece of stem that I want to put on here, and then I am going to add a bow. But I feel like maybe I don't need this little stem. Okay? I feel like, oh, I really like the way it ends right here. And I could just use this, maybe put it in a little jar and make a small little arrangement out of that. You know, that's cute. A little arrangement, hang the carrots off the edge of the jar right here, a little vase. So I'm not going to use that, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and end it with this. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. And I like to work with odd numbers, as I told you before. So this is pretty good. Otherwise, I would have had 6. And I feel like that was going to be too much because it wasn't going to give me enough fullness. I was going to do this. And I want the part that does that to be a bow. But I do want to put some greenery right here. So I have another little stem here with some greenery. And I think this is the greenery that was on the, I think on the sun or the roses. No, not the roses. Maybe on the sunflowers. I don't know. It was on something. Okay, neither one. So let's take this greenery out. Okay, so we're going to use some of these bits. And I think I want to, because I still have some berries. I have these white ones here, and I have these green ones. Taking them off here. All right, so let's do something with that. I don't want to hide the, yeah, I think the green ones will work. I'm going to put these green ones here. So I'll go ahead and wire and tape those down. Okay. Now I do want to add some length, and the reason that I want to add some length is because I want to be able to fold it like that so that I can hang it from, you know, whatever I put on the wall or door. There's a hanger or there's a nail or a tack, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this, give it some length. So right here it's going to be very bulky because I'm adding so much here. See? That's going to look pretty. All right, so now I want to take some leaves. I was going to use this one, but I do have it here, and I don't think I have any more of that one. No, we'll just use the 2 colors, and we'll save this. Maybe I'll add it at the bottom. Maybe I'll add it too. No, this one already has something on it. Oh, you know what, you guys? Maybe I'll add it at the end over here. So, okay, maybe after I put the bow, put it in the middle of the bow. Okay, so I want to add some greenery here, so I'm going to grab some stems. Let's see, none of these have a long stem. They're all short stems. Okay, so just gonna, let's see, let's build them separately so we can do kind of a little bit of a swag here of leaves. It'll be a little bit loosey-goosey, but that'll be okay. Okay, we're gonna wrap. Why did I grab an extra? Oh yeah, because that one looked really short. I'm gonna grab some of this stem here, wrap around, bring that end of the wire down, wrap around it. And then I'm going to wrap around the next one, that one, and then I'll add a third. Create a little bit of a bundle here. Not a swag, but a little bundle. Okay, now we can put some glue in there. Make sure all those little short stems stay together. Put it on the silicone so the glue doesn't get on my table. I'm over here working in my little kitchen table, my little dining table. All right. And flatten the wire, flatten the wire. Do I even need to cover with tape? Because I'm about to tape it down. Let's do it. Give it some girth. Give it something where the glue can also grab onto from the glue gun, because I am about to glue gun it down. All right. I'm going to put a bow here, remember, so I just want this little bit of greenery right here. This doesn't have wire on them, so they're not bending the way that I want them. So I'm just going to put lots of glue. I want to kind of grab on. More wire, more tape. Now, because I have this really thin piece of stem here, I don't want a little tiny, skinny little piece of stem, okay? So let's go to where we're gonna make our bow, because the wire from the bow will get added to this, and then more tape, and then maybe folding it or something. So these leaves are just in here just to add a little bit of greenery there. All right, I'm gonna use these 2. These are also from the Dollar Tree, and they were from their fall, and I didn't get to use them, but I'm gonna use them now. And it's got some sunflowers on there, and they're not even those type of sunflowers. It's not a creamy sunflower, it's a yellow, but there's some touches of orange which go with the carrots, and the ribbon itself is the color of the cream sunflowers. And I guess those roses are a little bit of a peachy color. They're not really orange, but you know, they kind of make this cream become more orangey, and then more orange with the oranges, or sorry, the carrots. So anyway, I feel like it's still gonna go really well with that, and I'm gonna add this orange ribbon, just because, guys, I don't want to store so much away. I have put so much stuff away, and I have thrown so much stuff that just got really old in my storage room. So we're gonna put these 2 together. I'm going to go ahead and fold them and create a little tail there like that. Now I could get some ribbon and weave it through, but I don't think I want to do that. I just want a little bit like that. Okay, so I've got my chenille stem ready so I can start building my bow. And I'm going to be building it with this ribbon on top of the other one. So I'm doing 2 ribbons at a time. So pinch and twist. This is going to get a little iffy, so I'm actually going to let this hang off the table onto the floor. It makes it a whole lot easier. I'm going to put them together to decide on the size of my bow. I'm okay with that. I don't want it to be too big. So pinch and twist. Another loop, so you always make sure the pretty sides are up. That's why you're twisting. I'm going to grab it right there. I'm going to bring them up to make sure the loops are the same size. They are. I can adjust it a little bit there. And twist and loop. And I keep them flat so that I know that I'm doing my loops the same size. Starting to get too big. Twist. And I think I could do one more loop. And that's it, you guys, because that's a lot of ribbon in my hand and it gets to hurting. Now, if you want to do 1 ribbon at a time, make 2 bows separately, you can absolutely do that. Now, if you can get yourself a bow maker, I highly recommend that. There's a long one that has like little sticks that you just stick into it. I used to use that one. I don't remember the name, but I did use that at Michael's for, I would do demonstrations. I've always liked doing the bows by hand. But now that my hands are getting weaker, you know, your carpal tunnel, arthritis, those kinds of things, or, you know, just hurting your hand, you know, from whatever other reason, those bow makers are a lifesaver. What are they called? I forget. Bow Ease or Bow Magic, or whatever they're called. Anything that helps you create a bow, grab it. Okay, so I'm going to leave these long. I think I'm just going to do the same thing where I cut them to make a little dovetails. I'm going to leave this one long. I might cut it, okay? So I'm going to take the length. Okay, first of all, I want to do this because I want to see how big my bow is. And then these are going to get, I only need to fluff up these because I need to see where my bow is going to rest on my swag so it doesn't cover my flowers. Now, I have little leaves here. They're okay. I only added them so that it doesn't look so bold right here once I put my bow. And of course, I didn't want to put my bow too close to the roses and then, you know, hide them, or the carrot. So that's why I added a little bit something extra here, okay? And that's just a little bit of a, you know, also like a little resting place for the loops of your bow. So obviously they don't have to be too far over. I can move it up a little bit on my stem here. And look, it adds up right where the other stems end. And I'm going to twist the chenille on it because that'll bulk up that stem, make it thicker. Push the bow out of the way. Look at that. And then right here I can fold it to make that little hook. So this stem I can then fold it down, and if you have some pliers, use that to bend it because it's hard. And then that can then loop around. You have a nice thick piece here to hang. Loop it over your bow. What is it, the wreath hanger? Or if you need to loop it around a nail or what. I have a little nail on my front door and I just use that. I'm going to use a piece of wire, not only to help bulk it up, but also to wrap around that little stem that I folded down because, you know, it's thin and I want it to bend down. I don't have some wires right now to hold all this down. I'm going to wrap this end around that other end to hold it down. Okay, so I've bulked it up. Now I'm going to add a good amount of tape. And now remember I told you, wrapping around chenille stem is not easy. It's not easy because the tape will not stick to these little bits, little foil bits. So you kind of have to wrap it. Make sure you wrap it around itself really well. And a couple of times you need a lot of tape. So if you can, use a floral wire to wrap around your bow rather than using a chenille stem. But I just wanted to do this because I wanted to show you. Oh my gosh, you know, it's hard to wrap around chenille stems, and that's why I didn't use chenille stems to begin with. To prepare this, I needed to use wire or pieces of stems, etc. Okay, let's wrap this around and make sure you overlap it. You might overlap it around itself the whole bit, and then, you know, like you're not just overlapping, you're like putting it over itself, right? But then the next time you go over, then you overlap it just by maybe half. I wouldn't go any less than that because you want to make sure that it is sticking. See, like tore it off. I want to make sure that I put it completely on top of the other piece of tape, and just keep going. And then that end, make sure you bring it back and wrap it up into itself. Don't try to end it over here because it's going to flop around. Okay, so grab another piece of tape because I need it. Start a good spot down here. Again, here I don't have to wrap it on top completely until I get to the chenille stem. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to use a lot of tape regardless. But if you're using it all chenilles, you're definitely going to use a lot of tape. And right now, when I put the chenille on there, I wrapped it up with wire. So that wire is helping me. But if I didn't use that wire, oh my goodness, it would have been so much harder. Okay, let's continue wrapping it with some more tape because I want to bulk that little bit up. Why do I want to bulk it up? I want a nice sturdy anchor here. A nice sturdy anchor, little hook. It's gonna be that's gonna weigh it down. I don't want some little light, flimsy little end that if I just hook it up, oof, it falls off very easily with the wind. I want a nice heavy bit so that I can hang it on the wreath hanger or on a nail or on a tack, and just, if I have to tighten it around the nail or the tack, you know, fold it like that, you know, do that. But you want a nice heavy little part up here that'll keep everything anchored here and not this over here. Okay, you don't want this on the bottom anchoring because that'll just make this fall off. Okay, I hope you understood that. Okay, I could tape it some more, but I'm going to stop here. I'm going to fold it down. I'm going to turn this around so you can see the back here where I've created that hook. See? Now, I want more tape. I want it to be nice and hard. And the wire, the stem that's in there is helping to be able to bend it. Now, I have something that I can hang this on. It's got a little bit of weight. I want more, so I would want more tape on there. Put more wire if you have to. Put more tape. That will bulk it up. If you have extra pieces of stem, add them on there. That'll be great. It'll be hard to bend, but use some pliers. It'll work. Okay, turn back around. We're going to see how our bow is finishing off here. I don't think I want the long bits. Okay, so I'm going to pop everything open. And look, you guys, I'm going to show you how 2 ribbons is just going to make this bow so huge. It's just going to give it so many. I could have stopped at 2 loops on each side because at the end I would have 4 loops or 3 and I would have had, you know, 6 or, yeah, because if I had 3 and 3 I would have 6 and I have 12. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means I'm going to have 14 loops because look. So when you do this, and if you have obviously separate ribbons, different design, don't pull the same design next to this one. Pull it out that way. So if you started by pulling, in this case, a solid to the right and the print to the left, continue that. Solid to the right, print to the left, solid right to the print to the left, and so forth. It becomes kind of the opposite when you get around this way, but here we go. Solid to the right, print to the left, solid to the right, print to the left. Okay, and then bring them up. Ever so often, bring one of them up, twist them in there, bring them up. I pulled on that one a little too hard. Okay. Fluff them up. Fluff it up. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Where's my little tails? I started off with really short tails, and that's okay. I'm just going to separate them, fan them up in the back, and I'm going to fan these as well. And you know what, guys? I don't want this long tail. You can have that long tail if you want to. You could take tails and kind of drape them through a piece of ribbon, drape it through your swag if you want. I don't want that because I love the look of this and I don't want to cover it. Okay, so I'll print down here, I'll solid up here, print up on the top, and a solid on the bottom. Just fan them so that they are separate. And when you're hanging, you can push the bow down a little bit. So there you go. All right, and there it is. I have it hanging on the inside of my kitchen door. I put a wreath hanger. I only happen to have one left over from Christmas, but that's what I'm going to hang it off of. I could hang it on the other side and, you know, have it be outdoors, but I do have another door, and I don't know if I have enough room. This is flat enough that I could do that, but I don't want to crush the bow. So I'm going to leave it in here. I think it looks really pretty. What do you think, you guys? I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and leave a kind comment down below. Just let me know what you think. Should I have added that extra bit? I think it's going to be a good little bit left over for a little vase or a little mason jar or something. All right, if you're enjoying the content of my videos, please subscribe by hitting that red subscribe button, and then of course choosing all and notifications so that you get notified as soon as I upload a video. As you can see, I didn't have those extra little berries at the bottom. You guys, I am so tired. My fingers hurt. That is it. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank everyone for supporting my channel. As always, enjoy.